Well, hey, Tiffany, how are we doing?
Great. How are you?
Great. It's good to see you. It's good to hop on a call with you. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course, absolutely.
So we're very excited to hear about X Factor performance and really dive into all that is that you guys do. But to jump off, I think we should definitely learn about you a little bit, some of your past experiences, what you really have done in the industry.
Sure. So my name is Dr. Tiff Jones, and I'm a certified mental performance coach. And that's all on the mental side of the games, exercise science, psychology kind of comboed. And I've been doing this for about over 20 years. Um, Work with professional athletes, Olympic teams, all the way down to the youth level. And diving into anything that's like dealing with pressure, managing
Right.
pressure to
I got
confidence,
Josh out on my
self-belief,
left. I got
team
Logan, my
culture,
striker. Okay?
leadership. So
Bring it
all
in.
that
Let's do
good
this. Let's
stuff
do
with
this. Bring it
teams
in. If
and
you're not
individual
on,
athletes.
yeah, if you're not on,
How is your program kind of designed to optimize performance over almost anything?
Sure. So mental health is anything like physical health, emotional health. There are things that we can control in our lives that help or hurt our mental health. And so for me, it's really giving tools around self awareness and emotional consciousness and the stories that we tell ourselves and how that can impact our biomechanics as an athlete and then also our cognitive processing when we're on the field. So again, it all starts with self-awareness and then having the bravery to be vulnerable with yourself and honest with yourself about those things, and then the bravery to be vulnerable with the people that can actually help you.
What benefits have you seen from your athletes after taking these courses?
I love when I see an athlete who can one just be like, yes, I did a good job. And they don't need like that reassurance that they have that self-belief and awareness that they know if they did a good job. It's nice to hear a compliment, but they don't need a compliment when they can adapt on the fly. When they recognize that they are going in their heads and they have the tools to get out of their heads, so to speak. And you can see it happening right before your eyes, and then having an analysis afterwards where they're so clear about like what they were feeling, what they were thinking, and like again what mental skills they use to get themselves back into that what I call blue zone mentality.
So we see obviously kind of the outcome of what happens, but how do you get there? Can you kind of walk us through maybe a day in your program or how your athletes will go through the program?
Sure. So there's five topics. The first one starting with self-awareness, mentality zones. The third is behavioral styles with mentality zones. The fourth is developing the mental skills, and then the fifth is how do you do it all under pressure. They're each topic is about an hour long, but there's an interactive workbook that goes with it. So it slows the athlete down, slows the coach down, slows the parent down in the sense of let me really apply this and have it be experiential. And so it will be snippets, like maybe watch 10 or 15 minutes and then do a couple activities and then take a break. And so there's a lot of supplemental materials, but it's all the nuts and bolts of what I would want an athlete, coach, parent to know before, next level stuff. But it's all the baseline foundation, all the theory, the science, and the hows to do it.
Now you mentioned coaches, you mentioned parents. How important is it for somebody in that camp to really buy into the program, really buy into this process?
Right. Well, I mean, we're working with youth athletes, so if the adults around them, the mentors around them, don't see the benefit of it or make fun of it or whatever it may be, then they're not going to buy into it. But if the adults and the mentors around them are, praising it, are diving into the work themselves, are using the same language, then most of the athletes, especially youth athletes, are going to buy it. They're going to buy what we're selling and they're going to want to invest in it. And so it's really, really important, whether you feel comfortable with it or not as an adult, that at least the messaging that we have is that we're supporting this. This is cool. This is the next level kind of stuff that athletes need. And so it's super important.
All right, so you're clearly doing some great things. Now, what do you think X Factor Performance has for it in the future with and King's Hammer? What's to come next?
So we're running a pilot program with some of the teams this fall within the club, and then after we get some of the data and do a little bit of analysis and figure out the best timing and the best way to implement the program, then we're gonna, move forward and get it out to the rest of the club.
Awesome, awesome. I think I speak for everybody here when I say we're very excited to work with X Factor Performance. I think there's a lot of great things in store, and thank you really for hopping on today and talking a lot about it and running it through with us.
Yeah, I'm just really appreciative of King's Hammer and looking forward to working with all the athletes, coaches, and families.
As are we. As are we. Thank you so much today, Tiffany.
Thank you.